Do you have to be good at math and science to be a nurse? Hey everybody, this is Thomas over here at nursemoneytalk.com, where we help nursing students become nurses and nurses excel in their nurse career and nurse life. And so let's talk a little bit about kind of like this preconceived notion that in order to be a nurse, you have to be good in math and science, or that you have to like math and science to begin with. Let's talk first about the math part. I'll just tell you right out of the gate, I actually do enjoy math. A little bit of a math nerd, loved physics, but you might be now wondering, wait, like how does this help me? You're saying you love math and it seems like you love science. Well, this next part will make a huge difference. I don't think I know a single nurse that actually likes math. I can't think of a single one. I can think of plenty of nurses, though, who really hate math, who dislike it with a passion. One nurse in particular, where we just had a conversation randomly shows up, and she was saying how much she hated and disliked math. And keep in mind, this was a terrific nurse. This was a great nurse, a nurse who, like, if it was one of my loved ones that she was taking care of, I would know that they were in good hands. And so, like, I tell you that story to bring it back to this, that no, you don't need to like math, and for the most part, you don't really need to be like this mathematician to be a nurse, or to be a good nurse at that. A lot of the math that can happen in nursing is pretty basic. I mean, it's honestly about as basic as it comes. And like the vast majority of it, I honestly would say about 95+% of it is very repetitive, kind of like the same basic calculations over and over and over again. And even on top of that, pretty much like the vast majority of the time, like the calculations are already done for you. So for the most part, what you would be doing anyway would be double checking, because there's steps where like either the physician's already done it, or they place the order to the pharmacy and the pharmacy has already done it. And so when it comes to you, you're really just kind of double checking to make sure that, everything just kind of lines up with drugs and drug dosages and whatnot before you give it. Honestly, I guess I kind of understand, why a lot of nurses get this feeling. I'm fine with math. I would say for the most part, I actually enjoy it, but this was the feeling I had. And I'm okay with math. When we were in dosage calc, they kind of give this feeling that like when you're a nurse that you're gonna be like on, I don't know, like you're gonna be on like a deserted island or whatever. And like, if you have like a calculation or something like that, that there's nobody that's gonna be around that you can ask for help, or that you're not gonna have a calculator. And so none of those are true. Like for the most part, in vast majority of nursing, like you're never by yourself. There's always somebody else there that's a resource that you can go to and ask for help. Hey, can you help me with X, Y, and Z? Even if you are struggling with a particular calculation. And so like I would kind of keep that in mind, like when you start seeing people like, talking about like, oh, math and nursing or whatever, that's gonna be challenging and all this other stuff. I think the difficulty of nursing school heightened up compared to what you'll actually experience once you're in clinical practice. And I get why they do it, because I think the notion would be like, if this is where nursing school is and this is what you'll actually experience with dosage, if you can handle up here, then down here would be so much easier if you can handle, like I said, that more difficult stuff. One thing about the math thing that I will mention, because I know typically you're only required for nursing to take college algebra, some kind of statistics or psych statistics or something like that, which, you know, could obviously vary, whatever, you know, like depending on nursing school and times change and whatnot. So just kind of keep that in mind. One thing I would say is that I think like specifically like when you're looking at statistics, that becomes more important if you're going into research. But you know, if you're just looking at like just like your typical bedside or floor nursing or something of that nature, you know, you're probably not going to deal too much with that unless you get involved in some kind of like, you know, like research project or something like that. As for the science part, you know, something to keep in mind about the sciences is that, you know, when people say that, oh, I don't like science or I'm not good at science or whatever, I think it's fair to also first point out which science are you talking about? Because like, you know, for example, the three that I'm thinking in particular in terms of, you know, if I had to divide science up into three just for the sake of easy conversation, would be the physics, the chemistry, and then the biology. And in a lot of ways, like I feel like some people could like one or a couple and then not like the other as well. So for example, I hate chemistry, but I love physics, which is, you know, to me, as far as I'm concerned, that's just applied math. And then the biology, it's, you know, it's okay. I'm okay with that. And so I think that's the first thing to really figure out where you're struggling with that. And also just know that sometimes I think like the once you get past the prereqs, you'll realize that there's that the experiences you had with science in the prereqs is going to be different than what you'll actually be exposed to and what you'll actually do once you're in nursing school, and then once you're actually out in the workforce working, you know, after you pass boards and once you actually start working as a nurse. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind, because like I said, you know, and I'll reiterate, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. I mean, you know, in a lot of ways, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit of the outlier because the nurses I know don't like math. I would say most probably don't really care hardly any for science. But one thing I will say though is that the nurses I know, they are passionate about nursing. They are passionate about serving and taking care of patients, and they are passionate about making a difference in the lives of patients and their family members. That's something to definitely keep in mind as well when it comes to this whole discussion. If you are considering applying to nursing school, you can go apply at nursemoneytalk.com/schools. In this video, you're gonna see over here to my left, I'm actually gonna go through and just kind of show you how you can find nursing schools. And also when you are looking at nursing schools, kind of like what factors you should consider when you're picking nursing school. So you can go check out those videos. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you very soon in the next one.